weather's right, you might be able to catch Montreal, but mostly you'll be limited to DVDs.
Mr. Magorium's Wonder Emporium. 2 copies.
I'm not much of a movie guy.
My name's Oscar.
My name is Cole, and this is Who Would Watch This? That's right, we're reviewing every movie mentioned in the Breaking Bad series.
This one, Ice Road Truckers, and...
Speed. I don't know if they were talking about the movie, but they definitely talk about Speed.
Welcome to Who Would Watch This, the podcast where we watch a film, chat about the film, and then try and figure out who would watch this.
Today, we're reviewing Mr. Magorium's Wonder Emporium, which currently has a 39% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 6.2 on IMDb, and a 2.8 on Letterboxd. Oscar, what's the plot?
The young apprentice of a magical, eccentric toy store owner learns to believe in herself and her friends upon learning some grave news about the future.
Well, there you go. It feels like this movie could have been an adult film. Like Stranger Than Fiction, but they were
Could have been so horny, yes. Nudity, that's what I really want in my toy store.
Mr. Magorium's Wonder Dick. Clever. That's what you get. You come onto the podcast for clever, witty repartee like this.
That's what we snap just right off the bat. I picked this movie because I disliked it as a child. I thought it was too whimsical. And as a child, I was like, not for me. Too much whimsy and hope. I just wasn't a fan.
Yeah. Before we go on, Oscar, shall we go back in time to before we'd seen the film and we tried to predict who we thought would watch this?
Yes.
Let's do it then.
Sorry, I had a glass of water. I was gonna bam, bam.
I think it'd be fun that every time we go back in time, we have that Pitbull song from Men in Black 3. It's like wow, 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 wow.
I love that song, but I only liked the thing they took from it, like the sample. I didn't realize that was an actual song, and I was like, it's a much better song. Should be just listening to that.
Yeah. You realized that you loved the song Timber.
I did. Pitbull just stole it.
The
right
bigger
back
they
in.
are, the harder they fall. Timber.
Oh, that man's a strange man. He should not be a celebrity, and yet here he is, gracing our screens and ears.
It's true. I mean, he owns so many motels, so many hotels, and so many holiday inns. For the Pitbull fans out there, it must be fun that two worlds are colliding, your favourite podcast and your favourite artist.
He's not featuring on it, we're just chatting about him, but still two worlds collide. Oh, look, there's Tom Cruise. Wow. Look at these worlds. 3 worlds now. Pitbull, Tom Cruise, and the Who Would Watch Us boys. All in the room discussing things.
And your best friend from high school, Arnold. That's right, he's here. And he still doesn't really like you much either.
God, imagine being dissed by a man named Arnold. You just end it.
Oscar, you've picked this film for next week.
I have. I didn't like it as a child. I'm now seeing the reviews on IMDb are quite favorable. So terrified I was just a cynical child. And now, as I've grown up, I've learned to be more childlike and wonderful. So this could be a mistake. But I remember it being boring and very hopeful.
Boring and hopeful? Interesting.
Yeah. Hate hope. I think it's too enduring, that's the problem with it. So I'm keen. I hope it's as annoying as I found it as a child. So yeah. Who do I think would watch this? Again, I think children were made to sit in front of it and watch it. I do feel bad though, because I've just seen the director made Stranger Than Fiction, and you quite like that, don't you?
Yeah,
I like that as well.
Yeah, so that's a shame. I've never seen this. Never had any interest in seeing it. I am terrified that I'm going to love it. It looks right up my alley in terms of just whimsy. You got a good cast. I love toys. So the things are aligned for me to enjoy this one. But I would hate to be somebody that's like, you seen Mr. Magorium's Wonder Emporium? It's a banger. I think would the movie have a better rap if its name wasn't so ludicrous?
I think the name's keeping it alive, honestly. That's the thing.
Probably, yeah.
It's got a silly name. If it was just a Toy Store Adventures, you'd be like, not checking that one out.
It's true. Or if it was like Mr. Magoo's Poos.
Fucking splooge, and you're like, I don't want to watch that. If this film was bigger, that'd be a great porn parody.
What do you mean bigger? This is a hit. People know of this film. I don't think anyone's watched it. When I told people we were reviewing it and it was coming up in our slate, though, everybody was like, "I've seen that film. I don't like it." And I was like, "This
No.
interesting, very interesting." I've been told to look out for a monkey, an annoying monkey.
I don't remember that, but this film screams that. This film definitely screams that. Again, as a child, I something rubbed it the wrong way, and I was just crossing my arms at like, I don't know how old I was. I hope the film's older than I'm letting on. I saw it in cinemas, I think. What year is it?
This movie came out in 1991. So you tipped
good.
your hand in age. Good,
Yeah.
sir.
That's right. I'm 45 at a podcast.
We've been
That's
trying
going
to
well.
we've been trying to pass ourselves off as 20-year-olds, but really we're edging on 50. We're so dangerously close to it.
Did we say who'd watched it? I think I said it.
Who do I think it's for? Pff, I don't know. Fans of Leon the Professional?
It's pretty much. I mean, as a child, all I remember is that it has it is a sequel-esque.
Yeah.
Sequel-esque. Soft sequel.
It was a soft reboot. Soft reboot. It's for kids. I'll go for that blanket statement. It looks like
sometimes we get a day off.
it looks like it's just for kids and nobody else though. So I'll be interested to see who this is actually for.
Carl, now you've seen the film. Thoughts on Mr. Magorium's Wonder Emporium. Was it wonderful?
Oh, it's something. It's something, alright. It's definitely a movie that exists. It's funny that now it's like you can kind of see the the marks of the guy that wrote Stranger Than Fictional over it, except it's like
Yep.
it doesn't seem to click, or I mean we'll get into it, but I think it definitely is too whimsical. Like it's far too whimsical.
So fucking whimsical. So whimsical up its own ass. I remember
Paddington's the right amount of whimsy. You need that sort of level of whimsy. You know?
Oh, exactly. It's a cruel world, but this nice little bear's gonna make it better.
Yeah.
But the problem is we're in this fucking whimsical world, and we're in it for too much, and it's like a sugar rush. It's just too much.
You're absolutely right. It's like a giant sugar hit, and occasionally you're like, it's sweet again, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna throw up. So that's where we are. Let's dive right in. Oscar, I think the credits are quite fun. Really enjoyed them. They are too long, so I did fast forward them.
Again, too fucking kitschy. It's Catch Me If You Can in Sugarland. It's just too much. But yeah, the fast forwarding was a smart choice. Didn't miss much.
One of those things where I went, these are visually really good. I bet they're long. I bet they know that they're good and they're going to make me sit through them all.
I feel bad for animators of these title crawls for the films that we review, because we just skip them constantly.
Oh, absolutely
I apologize for your years of work into your profession, but we're gonna skip.
Also,
we've got minutes to shave off.
I have never any idea who made these films. I'm sorry if you're not the primary. I'm sure the casting director did their work and they did it well. No clue who you are. I'm so sorry. I've never stuck around to find out who anybody contributed to these films. But you know what?
I don't know the director, the actor, nothing. I walk in, I see things, and I leave.
Yeah, not a fan of it. Look, the movie opens up. We've got a man. He's sleeping in a basement, so we already know Mr. Magorium underpays his staff. It's a wild way to open the film.
The kid narrator's like, this is actually the best story I've ever told. And it starts with a small man tied to the basement, chipping away. It's not like he gets a fleshed out character. I've forgotten his name already, but he gets one more mention. I don't know why the film starts on this behemoth of a man. He's quite scary.
Yeah, and he kind of shows up a little bit towards the end, but as a purveying predator around the store. Somebody should have looked up at him and been like, get back into your hole! And he's like, ah! And runs downstairs.
It's like a lesson in like a magical thing, but just like, sometimes ogres are terrifying. Leave them be, trap them in a hole, and that's actually a good thing, Keep them...
in the script it says a Shrek-esque man.
Just fee-fi-fo's dumb in the basement. We don't look at him. We pan away upstairs.
Oh, so then they're like, hey, look, some of this is actually a book. Anyway, here's the book. So we go into the book, and I'm like, this is too many beginnings. Anyway, so the movie's sort of finally starting. We meet the kid. Who's the kid called?
Oh, sorry, I've got Ghost right on my mind. It's not Danny.
Let's call him Danny. let's say this kid's name is Danny.
What's his name? It's gonna annoy me now. Is it Felix? No, what is it?
Oh, you know what? I actually have been I always thought Dustin Hoffman was Mr. Magorium, but the kid is Mr. Magorium. So we meet Mr. Magorium. It's a real bait and switch. We meet Mr. Magorium. He's lost his hat. His hat's hanging up 7 feet in the air.
Swear to God, we're introduced to Eric, the boy. That's right.
I'm sorry, but
playing a boy.
Who the fuck is Eric? Do you mean Mr. Magorium?
Dustin Hoffman is the Emporium. Natalie Portman is the Anther.
And they say there aren't good roles for women in Hollywood at the moment. Ridiculous. The Anther
They're a
is
suffix.
right there.
They're a suffix. They should be thankful.
They join the sentence together. They do all the legwork, really.
But none of the credit.
Oh god, none of it. Yeah, look, so we meet this fucking kid named Eric. I don't know how he's lost his hat 7 feet in the air. I don't care to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know anything about this kid.
I looked on IMDb, and you're gonna fucking hate this. This is how, like, kitschy and whimsical it is. Everyone has, like, little things attached to their name. So Eric's is Eric / the Hat Collector. Magorium, the toy collector. Natalie Portman's character, the composer. And Jason Bateman is the
child collector. He's the child collector.
Oh god, we'll jump into that. But he's called the mutant. So cruel.
That's right. Yeah, he is called the mutant.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's mean.
It is mean. But then again, if he's doing his Ozark sort of thing, he's really just using Mr. Magorium's business to funnel cash to drug dealers. Would it be crazy if the villain was a money launderer, being like, Mr. Magorium, some magic in here. What if I made some money disappear?
Ruh-roh. Oh my god. Anyway, sell some kids some toys because we need to boost these goddamn sales. Let's get introduced. So Natalie Portman is working the cashier. She's 23. Name's Molly. We're going to call her Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
But she's a struggling composer, but was just taking part-time work at this store. But now the magic of the store has kept her here for a very long time. I think she wants to leave, but she can't. Mr. Magorium is pretty much like relying on her to run the store. Dustin Hoffman is a cruel boss. I don't think he is sound mind.
He's hired one person, it seems, in the last 250 years of his life, and he's put all of his eggs in this woman's basket. And she's got all these dreams and aspirations of becoming an incredible composer, and he's gone, no, you stay for the magic. No. We then get to meet Mr. Magorium, played by Dustin Hoffman.
Mm-hmm.
This characterization, I think, is one of the biggest downfalls of the film, and I think it would be a lot more tolerable if he wasn't acting like that guy that has a tea party on the ceiling in Mary Poppins.
Yeah, it's that, because that, like, is annoying, but I think it's, like, a hindrance, like, that's, like, a plot point that they get past. Like, there's a small villain to get past, whereas this, he's playing it with, like, a lisp. Yeah. He talks like in riddles. He has like all this whimsy shit, and I hate this. I don't know what it is about whimsy and film. This is my least favorite genre of shit. Whatever he's doing is my least favorite thing, and it's painful to watch.
I think the movie would be better if Dustin Hoffman was playing it normally, like just a normal person that owned a kid's shop with that was kind, and he didn't talk in riddles, but there was something a little off about him. Almost like if he played it like Ollivander in Harry Potter. Yeah,
a bit schizo, but like you kind of love him for it.
Yeah, like something that tips you off like, this man's been alive for too long.
Yeah.
But he's tolerable.
But no, he plays it like, I'm going to annoy the shit. And the worst part of the film is it teases that he's going to die. And I'm like, great. The film would be... Literally, I forgot he didn't die until right at the end. And quite frankly, I was waiting for like the 30-minute mark for him to kick the bucket. But they're really using that Dustin paycheck. They're like, we're rinsing you, buddy. You're here for an hour and 20 minutes of the film.
I thought they were foreshadowing he was going to get violently assassinated. So it shocked me that he lasted so long.
He did.
Anyway, so now we just get to spend some time in the store. And so we get some really fucked up things in the store. And we'll go through them because some of the wonder's ruined by the audacity that these things would ever exist. One of them is like a live fish hanging from the ceiling, flopping around, gasping for air, wishing they were dead.
Megorium's like, hey, they're $30. I'll sell them on the cheap, or you can have the dead ones I keep right next to them. They're battered. And I just don't know what... It's cruel to the animals.
Oh, the fish finger one made me want to throw up. I didn't think it was funny. I thought it was a health code violation. They should have been covered in mold. I hated it. I hated this little gag. I thought it was just disgusting.
There's kids all like running around the whole thing. I'm annoyed because it seems like a play center, but these kids are just running amok. It's a bad business, and quite frankly, I don't think he should be. Listen, the magic keeps the shit alive. I don't think like structurally though this should be a building.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Also, Kermit's just an alive person.
Yeah, Kermit gets a shout out as a cameo. What do you think about this? Had the Muppets done anything for like many years? Was this just them getting a paycheck?
It was just them getting a paycheck. I didn't like this gag. It made me really confused. It made me think that so in this realm the Muppets are like paid actors and he's a celebrity just doing some shopping? Or was he a toy and it's like Toy Story and he gets the characteristics?
No, I think he was just a disgruntled actor. He's like, listen, I'm off the clock, kid. I know I'm a kid actor, but like not for you, okay? I'm just buying some toys for my nephew. Just need to get out of the shop real quickly. So don't fucking no pictures, okay? Fuck you. I'm a fucking
He was
broke.
like, is that a pen and paper? Yeah, turn the fuck around and walk away. Turn the fuck around and walk away. I'm Kermit the fucking Frog. Does it look like I'm on a lily pad at the moment? No, I've got my kids. I'm out on a family outing, and don't you whip out that selfie stick. You turn the fuck around, child.
Spits felt at him, just like...
Absolutely. He's like, little known fact about Kermit, I spit acid, bitch.
Got fangs.
He bites a child and sucks its blood. And you're like, wow, this really is a wonderful emporium.
It's weird. I mean, like, palate cleanser straight off the bat. I watched the Muppets, so it was really weird, like the night before this. So it was weird watching the Muppets and then watching Kurt. I thought I was having a stroke, quite frankly. I was very confused. I'm like, what the fuck am I going on here? But it's a weird cameo.
Yeah, it is a weird cameo. And then we find out that he's gonna die because he's running out of shoes.
Yes. Mr. Magorium bought like 40 pairs of shoes, and he's onto his last pair of shoes. So he's like, listen, I'm gonna die. So what I've done is, I'm like, listen, I'm leaving you a financial ruin because I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what the fuck this store is. It's been held onto a magic. No clue how much money it's worth. So I'm gonna get an investment banker in here, Jason Bateman. He's going to just look through some tattered clothes and scribbles I've over 250 years. And Jason Bateman rocks up. He's like, there's tax fraud here. This is not allowed.
He's like, this is fine. I can almost guarantee everybody's underpaid right here. This kid, Eric's doing most of the legwork of this store. Like, this
How
should
old are
be
you,
allowed.
Eric? I'm 9. Oh, cool. That's just straight up child slavery. Come on, Mr. Magorium.
He's like, guess what? Not only is Mr. Magorium at fault, but your mother is too, and we're taking you straight to the orphanage. And he bundles him up, and he wraps him up in bubble wrap, then tapes it. The kid suffocates a little, just a little, then into a little mailbox he goes.
It's cute. It's kitsch. I love it.
It's whimsical. Yes. So because he's dying, all the walls are getting mold. Another health violation.
I don't know. This mold shit's pretty annoying. Because, like, again, the magic actually in the whole thing's annoying. Because essentially the whole plot is that Jason Bateman doesn't realize that the store is magic. So he doesn't, like, give a shit. But, like, constantly there's magic happening everywhere. Like, there's
it's a
black mold
weird
spreading.
gag.
Yeah. Well, it's not a gag.
It's a weird
the
gag.
plot.
He's missing
it's the plot.
all the act. Yeah, right. Huge plot point is that he can't see any magic.
Because here's the thing, if Jason Bateman saw the magic once, he'd be like, holy shit, do you know how much money we could make if we put this into, like, military applications? If we turn these toys into military weapons, we got a fucking gold mine on our hands.
Here's what he would have done as soon as he sees magic. He goes up behind Mr. Magorium, and he strangles him a little bit just to make him black out. Magorium wakes up, he's in Area 51, tubes and everything are coming out of him, and they're like, we're gonna fucking take the magic from you. And we're gonna win all the wars, Mr. Magorium. All the wars.
How the fuck did you make a slinky go back up? We could use that for a ballistic missile. You fat fuck.
Could you imagine the power of Mr. Magorium in a nuke? Nobody can. We'd win it all beneath our fingers, Mr. Magorium. We'd win it all. Now seize the Emporium, and off to war we go!
That's why Jason Bateman can't see the magic, because the second he sees it, he's got dollar signs. Here's the thing. Crude oil can be very easily obtained. If you can if you can get teddy bears to work for you for free, holy shit, you've won a couple of... You've got more land than you know what to do with.
That's the thing. Anything that's alive in the store, you're like, that's a worker. That's someone you can. That's someone you can conscript. That's you've got endless amount of things. You bring in could you bring a dead body into that store and it comes back to life? If you slap a $7.50 price tag on it, is it like that's a toy that's alive now?
God, these rotting corpses are not selling, but quite frankly, here's the thing. You send a rotting corpse back to, like, a war-torn country, you're gonna win. How the fuck are they gonna kill him? Can't kill a thing twice, baby.
It's just, they're like, Natalie Portman's like, I'm sorry, Mr. Magorium, those dead corpses over there are moaning for them to be killed and put out of their misery. What do you want me to do about that, Mr. Magorium? And he's like, higher the price.
Yeah, so there's a lot of issues. Also, he's been around for 250 years with magic. I think he has some explaining to do.
He absolutely does. And you know how the bullet was curved for the assassination of JFK? Yo, you're looking at Mr. Magorium.
Oh yeah, that
motherfucker's behind.
That was a toy bullet, and that went fucking right through JFK's face.
I reckon he knows what happened to Diana. I reckon he knows a lot of things.
Toy car. That's the thing. Where the fuck was that car made? Mr. Magorium's fucking emporium, I tell ya.
He knows it all. There's like a turning switch in front of the main door.
Yeah. Oh, he has portals. He has the ability to transform a wall. How has this man not been like turned into a weapon?
I would love it. It's like the sequel's like Mr. Magorium's Wonder Emporium's weaponized.
Fully loaded.
Fully loaded so it rhymes.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so they twist it, and one of them is just balls, and I thought it would be hilarious if it was just a man's ball sack, just hanging right at the door, just wrinkled, hairy. There's about 40 of them, so you're like, something's going on here with these men. He's like, you never click it to balls.
We lost
The
40.
default.
We lost a bunch of kids in there in 1974. Don't know where they're gone. They're probably old now, but they've lived in a world of just men's balls. We shouldn't let them out.
You know the Jonestown murders? We just said that that's where the kids died, but it was here in the balls portal.
Oh god, there's so many kids running around. Mr. Magorium being alive for 230 years of atrocities in this store. There's got to be a lot of death on his hands. This is a wicked place.
The place is shrouded in murder. Absolutely shrouded in murder.
All of history. 230 years of history. Think about everything bad that's happened. All contained in Mr. Magorium's store. The souls of everybody that's been tortured. Bang, right there.
So the other thing is also just like, I don't understand if like random things are actually given life and thought. Because all bouncy balls have a life.
Yeah.
To be lived. And I thought it was concerning that the balls are constantly trying to escape the store.
They
They
are.
know something.
Well, because this is the weirdest. Like, I don't know what this scene entails. Pretty much, Natalie Portman is like serving a customer. The customer goes, "Hey, Natalie Portman, we went to college together." And she's like, "You're like, wow, you're still working here?" And she's like, "Yep." He's like, "Well, I'm a businessman." She's like, "Okay, great stuff." Do we learn that she wants to be I thought we knew she liked piano. What do we learn from this character? Has this been cut? What is this?
I think this guy's character's main thing is to basically say, "Oh, give up working here and chase that dream that you said was your dream in uni."
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think it was that thing of him being like, "Hey, I've moved on with my life. You still work in this toy store?" And it's like, "Yeah, well, it's kind of fucking magical, Brent. So why
Yeah.
don't you fuck off?" Like,
Another 5 years, I'll own this fucking place. Then I'll own the goddamn world, Brent. Then you account that, you cunt.
do you see Mr. Magorium standing over there? That is a ticking time bomb of death. He'll be dead within the week, I'll tell you. I threw out 40 pairs of his shoes, so he's on his last one. It's
See that black mold there? That's my impending fucking doom. I'm in the will. I'm in the fucking will. I've worked here for 6 months. I'm getting the whole fucking store.
He lived for 250 years. Brent, when you're dead, I'll be alive and ticking. I'll live another 225 years longer than you. I'll fucking meet your kids. I'll meet your kids and your grandkids, and they'll have lives with me, and you'll be dead, Brent. You'll be dead, and that's why I'm not leaving this store. Yeah, fuck off and play your piano. I can do chopsticks on it. So a bit more on, like, one of these other kids. So the main kid, Eric, I don't understand why everybody hates him. Like, all the kids
Oh,
seem
no,
to
I
sort
get
of
him. I
dislike
get him. I get why I dislike No. Eric's a cunt. One, he hogs all the toys. He's always around here with a bad smell. He collects hats, Carl. What do you mean you don't know why the kids pick on Eric?
I think it should have been a reveal that he removes a hat and there's a big bump. The big bump he's self-conscious of sitting on top of his head. Like the size of an ostrich egg. Just sitting up there.
Here's the thing. If
And
a
it's
kid
like-
collected hats, yeah, I feel that's a good cover. I feel like
Yeah.
no one's going to be like, everyone thinks that's lame, but it's not as lame as a big bump on your head.
Absolutely. Like, he should have, like, removed it at one stage and all the kids go, yucky! They point at him and they go, yucky!
Natalie Portman's like, this store's magic, but we couldn't even remove that. That's how fucked up it is. Put your bad hats on, you fucking freak.
Oh, the store's dying because it thinks the little bump on your head's yucky! But one of the things they do is they imply Brazil made that magic doorknob.
Yeah, no clue. I don't. Again, they open this can of worms of magic, which, like, in any like world, you pretty much have to go, right, there's magic. The rules are out the window. We have to establish the rules, and it seems like there's just fucking magic everywhere. It's pretty much like imagine Harry Potter. Say what you will about the series, but imagine J.K. Rowling was like, listen, I know what I'm going to write about. I'm going to write about Ollivanders for 7 books. Not the interesting stuff, just him running the store day to day, the admin involved. That's pretty much what this movie is.
Yeah, you're right, though. In terms of, like, maybe I'm missing something, and maybe the point is that it's like there's magic all around us in life or some shit like that, and so it's like, oh, that working stiff can't see it, but I think all these kids can,
because like, yeah, maybe it's like childhood wonder, and then as you grow older, you lose it. Because that's what it's kind of doing, like Jason Bateman. He's like, well, he's an accountant, he doesn't learn, but then he hangs around the magical toy store long enough. He's like, well, I'm reinvented.
Because none of the other adults see the magic, do they?
I don't think so. Which I don't get, like, because people see the bouncy balls flying out. Is that not in the universe? Like, are they, like, can't see it?
Yeah, I don't know, like actually no, a random customer gets like a giant octopus on her head.
She does. Yeah, no, the magic's real. The magic's real, everyone can see it. I don't know who does the store control it, or does Mr. Magorium, like, does the store need someone happy in the store to make it magical?
So basically, once it's sort of coming up to the idea that potentially she might get the store starts to die more.
Yeah.
And so I would like to posit this idea. Is the magic sexist?
Yeah, definitely is.
Does it not want to be owned by a woman?
It's
Is
like,
that what we think it's
I mean, here's the store's 250 years old. its thoughts on sex is probably very backwards. I think it goes, a young woman running this store. I'd rather kill myself. And
I love it. It's got like a 1920s sexism instilled in the personality of the magic.
God, I wish I could beat her up. Store, no, it's the 2000s. You can't speak like that. Like, God, she needs a good slapping. You're like, store, you just gotta stop with this shit. Modern day. She's taking over. Stop growing mold everywhere. Black's not a bad thing anymore. Stop doing that shit.
The store's lighting a cigarette, just being like, I'll let you know right now, I didn't fucking vote for Biden.
Let's say 2008 was a bad year for this store.
Yeah, so basically when the store's dying and everything, they decide to have like a team meeting.
Yeah.
So the team consists of Mr. Magorium, Natalie Portman, Eric, Jason Bateman, and then like 5 miscellaneous objects.
I posit this. I still think Eric is the most useless here. I think this is. I think Mr. Snuffle Tuffy, the teddy bear, is more of a bonus to the store than Eric. Eric's a child, and I hate they listen to him. He has no friends. Why would you?
Can't be that charismatic and likable if the kid ain't got friends. Let's be honest. Like,
it's so cruel because, like, I don't know. He must like I don't know what like. I think they like. It's like 2007, so I don't think like this. It's not very positive, but I feel like they're meant to be like Eric's like a bit on the spectrum or something like that. But like the film doesn't really commit to that, so they're just like Eric's just a boy with weird hats. I don't know why no one likes him, and the film doesn't really give us a reason to. Just like he's nervous.
We have no idea why kids don't like him. It's also his character arc isn't fulfilled because it's not like at the end of the movie he makes friends. He's actually not even a part of the climax of the film.
No.
The film ends so abruptly. He has no ending to his arc.
No. I think they kind of like shoehorn it in the like, what if Jason Bateman was his friend? It's like, cool. That leaves us some creepy things. Then we get a really creepy scene. Yeah. Do you want to talk about that?
No. Look, we'll get to it organically.
Yeah.
Because I've got some other little
finish the meeting.
Talk about. Yeah, so they have the meeting, and basically Natalie Portman overhears the fact that Mr. Magorium's like, oh yeah, I'll be dead. I'm actually really sick.
4:30. You got hours.
So Natalie Portman like declares him insane to a hospital, and they all start like gaslighting him. They're all like, "Oh yeah, sure, you've been alive for 200 years." Like, Natalie Portman, are you aware this man is a god? This is a god among men.
You're toying with a god. Oh my god. The power of this man. This man could turn anything into anything. He could reshape worlds. And you mock him? Sure, he's close to death, but that's by his own choice. He even says it. He's like, I could keep living, but I tire of this world. He's a goddamn god beyond this. And you mock him in the hospital.
Jason Bateman's like, oh, is he okay? Because he's got a lot of tax to pay. And she's like, how dare you?
Oh, that's right. They do this like, Jason Bateman, I think, are pretty adult things like, hey, listen, has he got good insurance? Because if he dies, it's going to be up a lot of money. And Natalie Portman's like, fuck you, man. Fuck you. Yeah. He's dying. I'm like, yeah, but like, come on. This old fuck hasn't got, like, he's seen the receipts. He's definitely in a lot of debt.
Oh, so much debt. They've then also got like a moment where they come in to see how he's doing in the hospital, and Eric's just like on a saxophone going da da na 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 dun 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 dun. And I'm like, this is a hospital. You can't do that here.
No, you can't. It's also weird because I feel like on his deathbed, Dustin Hoffman's like, hey, that Eric kid, he needs some friends. Like, he doesn't even give a solution. He's magic. He's like, he's just fucking magic. Like, magic shouldn't be able to solve that. Just get him some friends.
He's like, magic couldn't help him at all. So it's on you, Natalie. Because, like, I mean, if magic can't help him, I don't know what can. Yeah. Maybe it's the hat ththing that scares the people. Talk to him about the hats. I can't do it. I'm his idol and it'd crush him.
I'm a god and I'm not even touching that.
Yeah, absolutely not. He's like, Natalie, as a god, some people can't be helped, and I've learned that.
C'est la vie, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So I do want to say, look, I'm not actively bored throughout the film. It's holding my attention a lot more than, say, Ghost Rider did.
Mm.
And I do think there's some moment, like, you know what it is? The movie's actually shot quite nicely, and it's got the actual production design's really good.
100%.
Store looks really good. There's good little bits with the score. I always sort of liked whenever Natalie Portman did that little thing with her hands and the piano crept into the
Yeah, that was
soundtrack.
a bit of fun, wasn't it? There's probably one good scene. I think it definitely you can definitely tell the Stranger Than a Fiction guy wrote it, because just before Dustin Hoffman dies in the toy store, he has this monologue about Shakespeare. I think it's in is it in Othello? Which one does he say? I can't remember which one it is.
It's the one where the main character dies. I think it's Othello.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
I'm not sure, but anyway, he's just then Shakespeare writes, then he died. He's such a nothing sentence, and yet he summed it up so well. Such a powerful person just dying in a sentence. I thought that was quite nice. I mean, again, he's just ganking Shakespeare, but still, I was like, oh, that's quite touching.
The line's something like, isn't it wild, the greatest writer of our lives summed up death. So it's in such a normalized way or something like that. It is a really nice moment. And I think there's a handful of nice little moments that I could see working in other contexts. The one of the other things that I quite enjoyed was the kid up on the chair, and the doctor's like, why is he up there? And he's like, oh, he just wants me to make sure I have enough space in my room. And then they go and turn the lights off, and he's put all the stars up for him.
Yeah, that is nice. There are some retouching moments. I'm starting to think a lot's been cut, because again, the kid doesn't get anything. That guy from the basement also threw me 40 minutes in. The chapters pop up. Eric's like, chapter 2.
Yes. And then 40 minminutes in, they're like, chapter 2. And then from that point on, they're like, it's a chapter a minute, people. Chapter 7, 9, 11, 40.
Did they add those in to keep the pace going? Because you're right. At the end, it's fuck, we got 58 chapters to go. We're smacking these out.
You know what? The adding of the chapters probably isn't a bad idea in terms of trying to Frankenstein the movie together if you've had to do some harsh cuts.
Yeah, definitely. Because it feels like there's lots missing. Eric should get a friend. At least, because Jason Bateman... Do they even play checkers, him and Jason Bateman?
No, they don't. But it's Jason Bateman should also, learn to see the magic. He just sees the magic and then believes.
Oh, the film cuts weirdly, doesn't it? I feel it was
so weirdly. I think every arc is underserved outside of Natalie Portman's, and I'm still not entirely sure what Natalie Portman's learned.
No, and I feel like her dreams are crushed, right?
Yeah. So, anyway, do we want to get to the point that he dies?
Yeah, so anyway, you've got touching moments, everyone's kind of off their own, and they kind of let him die pretty much. He just doesn't he just, how does he die? Does it just cut to his funeral?
Yeah, it just cuts to his funeral, and there's so many people there.
Which
is also sort of nice.
It's sort of nice, but then it's kind of ruined because there's a zebra in the background, and I laughed at that.
Yeah, you're so true. I also thought it was really rude. I was like, Eric, have you not got a funeral hat? You're telling me you're not going to wear a hat today, you lazy bum?
Oh, so lazy. You couldn't have had a rest in peace cap? That'd be kind of cute.
He wears it backwards and it just has RRPP. And then underneath it says the extra P's for piss.
I thought it was R.I.P.D. Ripped. That shitty... Oh, fuck, the movie. I'm trying to think of the gag. We're a movie podcast. I can't remember the movie.
R.I.P.D.
Yes.
Rest in Pieces Department. Yeah.
There we go. Nailed it. That's the thing about the joke. It's a team effort.
Yeah. So then we also have... actually, I think before Mr. Magorium dies, we have the scene with the hats. We have Jason Bateman.
Oh, yeah. Let's touch on that.
Jason Bateman comes around to a kid's apartment.
Well, no, before this, Eric, the lazy cunt, is like, hey, it's getting pretty dark out. Do you mind walking me home? They step outside. It's direct sunlight. You couldn't be more brighter. And I think Jason Bateman's pretty pissed off at this point. Anyway, they go home to his mother's.
Yeah.
That annoyed me, but go on.
So they get there, Jason Bateman's like, wow, you actually do have far too many hats, kid.
Mm.
Is there any sort of parental guidance around here? And the kid's like, no. And Jason Bateman's like, I shall stay. I do want to give props to Jason Bateman, who does an incredible court jester voice.
He does. He really does, doesn't he?
So good.
So good.
So good.
However,
I would not have believed that was his voice.
In the context of the film, incredibly creepy, because then the mum walks in and it's like a scene from like To Catch a Predator. Very very uncomfortable. I think the scene even knows it's uncomfortable because the score's like, I haven't got anything, we're just doing no music.
The score, a bunch of film cameras like rock in, they're like caught red-handed.
Because
it's like Tobias.
Yeah.
Daddy's got to get his rocks off.
Well, it's weird because the mum walks in, she's like, what are you doing, my son? And Jason Bateman gives like a pissy, like, I'm just a friend. She's like, oh, fucking hell, Jesus Christ. And she's like, you better go. And he's like, yeah, I'll go. And he just walks off and just such ashamed. I bet he called his wife just like, we need to have a chat. I've done something bad.
Like, I do think in terms of a longer film, potentially a relationship would begin between the boy and the mum.
Eric and Jason
Bateman and... Yeah, don't you reckon?
They set it up because they have this thing of like, they play, they do like the Taylor Swift, like, you want to play with me? And he's like, yeah. And it seems like they're going to play checkers because he declines him playing checkers at like in the middle of the movie. And then they don't play checkers ever. I feel like there's like the end of the movie's been cut off or something.
Yeah, I reckon it ends so abruptly. There's also a segment after he dies that's like, is a magnet magic? Do you remember this? The kid's like, what's this? And it's like, it works on magnets.
Oh yeah. And the store's like completely like grey. And like, I love it. Natalie Portman's like, I'm making my fucking money and then following my dreams. That old fuck just left me prime real estate in New York City. I'm making loads of money and doing my dreams true. The real estate agent comes through and a small toy's playing with, the magnet thing. What about it?
Yeah. Well, I'm just like, is this where they're supposed to be hinting at the fact that the kid's like, well, how is this magic? And she's like, well, it's magnets. So, well, how do magnets work? And she's like, maybe magnets work also with a little bit of magic. And it's like, and then that little item springs to color because I think that boy believes it might be magic now.
That's all well and good, but we've already proven that magic is real in this universe. Like a lady gets a squid on her face, the block moves. I don't know what is powering the magic. I think just maybe, I can only think that maybe Natalie Portman kind of like inspires a kid, and then the store's like, maybe a woman can run a store. And that's kind of how it works. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's weird that Eric isn't there at the end at all to sort of inspire anything. Because you think these three people, the kid, Jason Bateman, and Natalie Portman, them sort of all learning their arc is what should bring 100%, the store back to life.
Because I thought
again.
Jason Bateman was going to quit his job and then work at the store because he does a shift at the shop. I didn't really know.
He runs it poorly. He puts the kid behind the cash register. That's not legal, Jason.
100% crime. Also, they're like, a busy day of hard work. No one's in the store. I don't know what they've done for 8 hours. The store was completely tidy. Anyway, I think Natalie Portman, I don't know what her character arc would have been because she had a dream and then the store's also there. So I don't really know.
Yeah.
Maybe she would have learned magic, like to do them together and they both help. I don't know. Eric makes a friend, but none of those arcs are paid off.
No, it is weird. Well, so then because she's going to sell the store,
yeah,
Eric's like, I'm going to make an offer, and goes to see Jason Bateman at his job, and he's got a business hat.
Yeah.
So that's fun. He's got a hat for every occasion apart from a funeral.
Here's the thing. The kid's 9. He probably didn't know what death was, and I bet Mr. Magorium's death has really rocked him.
He's like, I haven't got a hat for this occasion. What do I wear? All of them? None of them? What do I do? Do I sew two together? Is this one like an offensive hat and it's like a flamingo? He's like, I just don't know what to do with it. This one has a neck.
Oh fuck!
I'll
cut the death-proof hat from Quentin Tarantino's film in half, and hopefully that will work. It works.
So, and because he wants to make an offer, I think this inspires Jason Bateman to go in and be like, hey, don't sell. In which case,
But
the
why?
block starts to move.
Why does he? Why does this inspire him?
Well, I don't know.
I don't.
Because I
I
can
don't know
assume it's
either.
been cut. I have no idea
I have no
why
idea
anything's happening.
because Eric pretty much rocks up and is just like does a ridiculous offer. Like I don't even know why they entertained this child. I don't know how he got past security. But anyway, Jason's like
Security should have tased him
Yeah,
immediately. They should have
should've.
tased him and stolen their hat and sold it for profit.
Yeah, so Jason Bateman goes to like Natalie Portman and is like, "Don't sell," and she's like, "Okay." I'm pretty sure the block moves and then the store's just magically all good, right?
Well, I get confused because Jason Bateman blacks out and then comes through, and then she kind of gaslights him about the knife.
Oh, she does, doesn't she? Because he believes in magic, and
Yeah.
and then he wakes up, and Natalie Portman's like, "There's no such thing as magic." But then I'm pretty sure the next scene, magic's about. There's magic everywhere.
Yeah. Like, I also like to think that potentially these three actors probably would have signed on to a more cohesive film, script-wise.
I think Dustin Hoffman especially. Like, I feel like he was still in his not prime, but like he was still pretty much like, I'm gonna do good stuff.
I like his voice work and
Oh, he was in Stranger Than Fiction. That's probably why. Might have just liked the director.
But I feel like Stranger Than Fiction's a pretty good script. I feel like if you handed him like the kid version of Stranger, like I just think that these people would sign on in script form.
Oh, here's the thing: there's
Like-
so much missing. There's so much missing, and I'm
Yeah.
just confused at where, like, what
It's
the script.
gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because it all ends. It all
It's
gets
so
tied
weird.
up
It's
in a
so
nice
weird.
little bow.
Jason Bateman wakes up, and then the store's good, and they're like freeze. They're like, oh, ready for the third act to wrap up these up, and then it's just snap black. Mr. Magorium's
Yeah.
Wonder Emporium.
Also, why are there so many kids there? I thought they were closed.
I don't know. I don't know what this store is. I don't know how it turns a It seems like it's just a place for kids to chill. It's like the YMCA, and
Yeah.
that's all it is, really.
Well, this is a movie that doesn't have anything to say and doesn't really have anything to do.
I mean, was I wrong as a child to hate it?
I think as a child, I wouldn't have loved it, but I definitely would have enjoyed bits. I don't know if I would have hated it as a kid, but I definitely don't think I would have been like, I love Mr. Magorium's Wonder Emporium.
No, but I don't think I've seen anybody that I feel like a lot of maybe
Yeah.
maybe it's just I was 10, but I feel like as a kids film you failed on that part. So it's interesting.
Well, but I think it's
go on.
I think it's weird that it keeps on trying to reach for like adult themes. Like it's like it kills him off. And then there's also like him and Natalie Portman have like this nice day of like trying to live the last of his sort of moments together.
Do we think it was going to be a bit darker? Not darker, but a bit more like thought-provoking 2 hours, and they were like, cool, you've made a kids film, that ain't gonna fucking fly. We're gonna add a
Yeah.
bunch of CGI shit in the background just to make it sure like it's more fun.
Maybe, because it really indulges in scenes that don't lead into any sort of plot or character arcs. There's that scene with a giant ball, and it goes for ages.
There's a lot of that shit, isn't there? It's a lot of just
Yeah.
like, fuck, we need to like pad this, but it's like, I don't know, you've cut a lot and padded up with just random things to make the time
Yeah.
go quicker.
Yeah, it's a real. It's quite a bizarre film.
And it pretty much,
And-
and it killed this director's career, it seems.
What about writing wise? Does he still get to write? Is he still a screenwriter?
I mean, he wrote one other thing. He's got a film, he's got 2 films in the making.
What did he do after this?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, no, sorry. He had 1 TV movie play. That's it. Barely watched by anybody. But he's got a thing called Deep. He's got like 3 things out. Oh, good for him. Good for him. Good for Zach Helm. He's got like 3 movies in pre-production. One's complete, Deep Water.
Oh no.
Have you heard things about Deep Water?
Yeah, that's just come out to bad reviews, but that is a movie that is 2 hours and 40 minutes long, and it just got cut to 1 hour 55.
Oh wow! So he's familiar with the cutting of. He must get.
Yeah.
Imagine him like rocking up like this happened. The exact same fucking thing happened on Mr. Magorium's Wonder Emporium.
Yeah.
They're gonna fuck my vision up again.
Like Deepwater should have been good. It's based on a book of the chick that wrote Carol and Talented Mr. Ripley, so she writes really good stuff.
Damn, that is a shame.
Yeah, so that's such a bummer. I'm so sad to hear that he wrote that. Uh because I've literally one of the reviews I was just reading about, because that movie literally comes out Friday.
Yep.
Somebody being like, the third act's just been cut because the movie just ends abruptly in the second act, it feels.
Oh fuck, he's been Mr. Magoriumed again. He must be fuming.
He's been Emporiumed again. Oh, Oscar, who would watch Mr. Magorium's Wonder Emporium?
Not Oscar at the age of 10. He was not a fan. Listen, I'm taking my opinion as a 10-year-old like Bible. I can only assume kids didn't like this. I don't think it's done very well. However, Carl, I did find out this entire movie was on YouTube, and the best thing about YouTube is the comments. If you're listening on YouTube, drop one in the comments right now.
Oh, cheeky.
There was a man. The film had about 20,000 views. One man left 65 comments on this video. I'm gonna read some of the comments. Magorium
Go for it.
equals God. It's hard to maintain our inner child. Man, I'm really telling you. Main problem with the world right now is depression. All needs as much as we all need a bit of magic as possible. And finally, Natalie Portman makes a lot of magic in my pants. There's 65 comments, all unhinged. The man named Based is the person who's commented. If you're Based, if you're listening to us, shout out. I don't know how many times you've watched that rip on YouTube, but good for you. Carl, who would watch Mr. Magorium's Wonder Emporium?
Well, I'm very upset you found my YouTube account. God, who would watch it? I mean, fuck. It's a tough one. I think this is definitely the type of movie that you could throw on for anybody under the age of 6, and it will definitely keep them entertained for a little bit. It looks colourful, and there's always something happening, much to my dismay. It almost feels ADHD. So I guess pulling out the old card from other kids' movies we've had to review, this is for if you want to clean the kitchen and entertain the kid. Chuck it on in the background.
I feel that's the thing. They can't be over like 6 though, because I think the second they get it, like I feel like as a 10-year-old, the Whimsy annoyed me. Like I just. You're definitely right. Here's the thing. Any of these, listen. Sometimes we need a free go past. Fuck. Sometimes we need a go. Third time's a try. We all need a go pass go.
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying a pass go. We all need a collect 200 and pass go. We all need like a excuse to say fuck. I don't know who to say who would watch this. But I can't get it out, Carl. I can't get it out.
Go again. I want you to get it.
All right. We all need a pass go sometimes. Collect 200. And that's what you've done with that comment, Carl. See, it doesn't work because I don't remember what the context is now. I'm not going to edit this out. Sometimes people need to know that we're vulnerable and we're human too.
Well, Oscar, what was your palate cleanser?
I watched for the second time Best in Show. Have you seen this one, Carl?
No, I haven't. I know of it.
It's one of the if you've like Spinal Tap, I'm pretty sure the director, oh no, I think the actor that plays in it directs it. He's pretty much done like a bunch of mockumentaries. I've seen a couple of them. This is definitely the best one. So funny. Like literally, like there's so many famous comedians in this film that have just like done so well. But like the funny side ones that you never really get in a starring role. But it's so funny. It's a mockumentary about like a dog show, and it follows I think like 5 or 6 sort of dog owners, and all of them are just so funny. And it's brilliant. It's such a good mockumentary. You should check it out. I think you'd really enjoy it.
Yeah, I remember when Fred Willard died, and everybody was like, "That's his best film." They were like,
"Oh yeah, he does this." It's such a clever like technique because essentially he's commentating with another dog show like host who's just playing it completely straight, no jokes. But what he's doing is like he's explaining what the hell the dog show is because he's clueless. But like, so one is giving you like a narrative, like what the fuck a dog show is, but then he's also like so clueless and fuck, he's funny. Like constantly just like one of his jokes. He's so funny. He's like, I wouldn't mind seeing him in like a little hat and a monocle, little cigar. Wouldn't that be cute? And the other host is like, no, that's not really what we do at this dog show. He's like, well, I'd get a kick out of it. Just like. He's playing it so funny, and like, oh, you've got to see it for him. Every performance is so fun. Yeah, like one of the best mockumentaries.
Yeah, nice. You've sold me on it. I will
Nice.
likely watch that this week. What did I watch?
Carl, what was your palate cleanser?
I watched The Bourne Supremacy because I'm watching all the Bourne films.
Oh, I've got to watch those. Is that the second or the third?
It's the second, which I think was
Nice.
always my favorite. So I'm keen to rewatch the third because I know lots of people like the third.
Mm-hmm.
Still good. Still a good franchise. Still good fun. Yeah, I recommend those for a trilogy of like action movies in the early 2000s. They are very like modernized and well paced and have like really good moments. They're holding up well.
How do they? I kind of thought like as one of the younger, I thought they were just James Bond clones, but they seem to like kind of break out of that. How do they compare to like the Daniel Craigs?
I mean, the Casino Royale was based off of off Bourne Identity in terms of in terms of them being like, we need to modernize, and that the style's so similar, in my opinion, to Bourne Identity.
Oh, so they're before Daniel Craig's. They kind of oh wow,
yeah,
I didn't realize.
Yeah, so just they're like, and they also like created I hesitate to say shaky cam because it's not shaky cam, but I think it started that look of directors that didn't have as much money or anything using shaky cam.
I think I watched like a video on YouTube about the editing of that, and like people like it's like that sort of bad like sort of trend in Hollywood, which is like the fast cuts, so you don't really know what's going on. Whereas that was like, although it is that, like it's well choreographed, but doing that so it feels more impactful. But then people just like, wow, we can just cut fucking sporadically, and it's like people kind of get there's something happening.
That's right. Like it's definitely choreographed to have very specific cuts, and the action shots like miss almost the money shots or the way that they connect and things like that, because so many of the fights are shot to be raw in terms of what has Jason Bourne got in the room to sort of just grab at to save his own life, as opposed to a proper choreographed like punch, block, punch, kick, block. It's always like, fuck, he's got a knife, I'll grab like a magazine, and like you're just trying to like, he's like trying to poke him in the throat to choke him and stuff like that. Like,
nice.
Yeah, so they're always fun. I enjoy them. I also love a good spy thriller, so you know.
Oh, you're gonna love Bridge of Spies when you're a dad.
Oh, I will. I absolutely will. But at this point in time, I don't love it, so...
Oh, I love Bridge of Spies. Freaking loved it. Seen it once, can't remember it, but I loved it. Apparently I've got it 4 stars in Letterboxd. Can't believe that.
It's written by the Coen brothers, so it's probably just your undying love.
I love a little bit of Coen brothers. Ooh!
Alright, Oscar, what are we reviewing next week?
Well, we're getting pretty excited for the dinosaur movie, the new one. That's right, the new one.
Jurassic World 3. So we thought we'd go back
in time
to Jurassic Park 2
for a little mini.
It's a cheeky little mini.
It's a little starter, because then after the week after that, we're doing Jurassic Park 3, the full thing.
That's right, the one that's 3 films before Jurassic World 3.
So you know it's good.
Oh, you know it's good. Who doesn't love the middle of 6 films?
Oh.
They're always the best.